The Miss Universe Philippines 2024 press presentation has officially ended, and I have a lot to say because I had the opportunity to attend and for the very first time get to see all of the delegates together in one place in person. And believe me, there is a lot to digest. Today I'm going to be presenting to you my top 20 standout candidates from the Miss Universe Philippines press presentation. You might not realize it, but this is a very important moment because this is the official introduction of the delegates to the world. And believe me, in pageantry especially, first impressions really matter. So let's start talking about my top 20, but if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and drop a like, a comment, follow, subscribe, share this video with a friend, and without further ado, let's start. At number 20 on the list, we have Miss Bacolod, who I thought looked absolutely incredible in this beautiful piece. I love the draping of this dress. It makes me feel like it's a little bit inspired by ancient Greek or something like that. And that's very on brand because she does look like a Greek goddess in this particular garment. Also, the upper part of the dress gives it a lot of structure. I love how it really highlights her waistline, and I feel like her natural beauty just speaks for itself. Look at the very defined bone structure. The moment that she walked on stage, I just couldn't take my eyes off her. Next on the list, we have Miss Albay Elaine Bernales, looking absolutely incredible, and this is something very reminiscent of Catriona, who also represented Albay back in the day at Binibining Pilipinas. And that's how you know that the girl is representing for her locality, because Catriona is known for being one of those girls who really like to reference Filipino culture and pay homage to it. I really appreciated how she was able to stand out amongst everyone else while not doing so much. I mean, if you take into consideration the amount of makeup, the hairstyling, everything is fairly simple, yet the girl manages to stand out next to everyone else. So for me, that speaks a lot, and I'm hoping that we're gonna be getting more surprises from Albay in the upcoming days as well. Number 18 on the list, we have Miss Bulacan. Her name is Chelsea Manalo, and I just love the way that she walked on stage with so much confidence, with so much presence. I love what she's wearing because it is super vibrant, and I think that it really complements her, in her physique, the shape. I love a little bit of the sassiness that we have going on in the face, and of course, she's also representing for the dark-skinned Filipinas, which by the way, we're gonna have a few of them on this list. So this year, the Morenas and the dark-skinned girls are coming really strong at Miss Universe Philippines. And I mean, Miss Bulacan is definitely up there, already to be within the top 20 in an edition of a pageant that has over 55 candidates. It speaks volumes. Number 17 on the list, representing Laguna, we have Alexandra Rosales, my friend that I'm so happy to see make a comeback to pageantry. Honestly, I was not aware that Alexandra was going to join, and I found out, well, basically at the same time as everyone else when the announcement was made on social media. This was my very first time seeing her, meeting her in person, and the moment that I got to see her after the show, I just went and gave her a hug. She was so nice, so warm, and I'm just over the moon to see her at Miss Universe Philippines. Bias aside, I was also very happy with her presentation. I thought that she looked incredible in pink. This is fun, this is voluminous, this is coming in a year where Barbie, just took over the world and is very popular. So I think that this was a very nice way to introduce herself to the world and to the media in the beginning of the pageant. I'm really looking forward to see what else she's going to give us because Laguna has really talented designers. So I'm thrilled to just discover the entire wardrobe as we go on. So let me know if you're as excited for Alexandra as I am. Number 16 on the list, we have Miss Southern California. Her name is Janet Lynn Hammond, and honestly, in person, she is absolutely breathtaking. I love what she's wearing, and honestly, I think that the photos don't make it justice because in person, this dress was like shining from every single angle. I just love, I have to actually inquire who is the designer for this because the way that the light hits the fabric, it just, I don't know, it's just so beautiful. So the attention to detail was definitely there. She was actually very pleasing to look at, to talk to. Well, I didn't have the opportunity to interact with her directly, but there were a lot of people, a lot of fans talking to her nearby. So I got to listen a little bit of the conversations, and she was absolutely incredible. I have to admit, she's one of those girls that for me was flying under the radar prior to the presentation, but precisely this is why a press presentation is so important because it can, as I said earlier, make or break the perception of people. And I think that this first introduction, this first impression that we got of her is definitely a home run. So just keep it up, Miss Southern California. Moving on to number 15 on the list, we have Miss Pasig. Her name is Selena Antonio Reyes. And oh my God, I just found out yesterday that she's basically my neighbor. So we live like in front of each other. But anyways, absolutely stunning. I had actually an invitation to attend her sashing ceremony, but unfortunately I couldn't because I was sick. So this was my very first time seeing her in person, and honestly, she did not disappoint. Such a beautiful girl, such nice energy. I love what she's wearing, and I think that it really complements the physique, because the physique is one of those things that, I mean, it's really out of this world. I wonder how some of these girls are taking care of themselves, what the workout routine is like, what the diet is like, because honestly, I need all of the secrets. This is a super solid start to the competition for me. So again, I'm excited to see what Miss Pasig is going to bring to the table in terms of this entire competition. So are you rooting for her? Let me know. At number 14, we have a girl who is no stranger because she was part of my early favorites for Miss Universe Philippines 2024, and that is Miss Pampanga Cyril Payumo. And during the press presentation, she delivered exactly what I was expecting of her. She brought the beauty, she brought the class, she brought the presence. What I really enjoyed was the confidence on stage. This girl stood up there, looked at the cameras, looked at the audience, and really gave us a show. Look at this photo. I mean, you can feel the presence, you can feel the energy, the impact that she had on stage. And honestly, even when we were on the red carpet and she walked out, she was one of the girls who received a lot of praise from the media. So I think that we need to keep an eye on Pampanga because she is coming strong this year. And who knows, she might be going home with a crown. At number 13 on the list, we have Angeles City. Her name is Joanna Thornley. And honestly, first of all, I mean, from a technical point of view, when I looked at her performance, she was so beautiful. The way that she carried herself on stage, effortless. I love the poses. She is very pleasing to look at from every single angle, so very, very nice. And I'm gonna be honest, she reminded me a little bit of Catriona. And I know this is the second time I reference Catriona on this video, but Catriona is the standard. Come on now. There's something going on with the hair. There's something going on even with this gown that reminds me a lot of Catriona's preliminary dress at Miss Universe. So I just thought, you know, the girl is standing out for all of the good reasons. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not super familiar with her just yet. I have to learn more and her advocacy and whatnot. But based on first impressions, again, which is the purpose of a press presentation, this girl really, this was a home run for me. So Angeles City coming really strong to Miss Universe Philippines. At number 12, let's talk about Miss Cebu, Chris Tiffany Jansen. And I mean, of course, Cebu is, as I said in my previous video, always a fan favorite. They love pageants. They prepare so well for pageants. They have dominated the national scene in pageantry for the past few years. And I think that Chris is doing an incredible job so far. Now, I'm going to tell you, when I look at Chris, what she's done and everything, she gives me a different vibe than most delegates at Miss Universe Philippines. She seems to be soft, she seems to be calm, she seems to be very delicate. And for me, that's also that she was able to translate through her wardrobe. I know that this might not be everyone's favorite look of the night, but for me, it was actually really good because it fits what she stands for, at least on a personal level, right? For me. I will say she gave me a little bit of those Hannah Arnold vibes, just for you to have a reference of what I have in my mind. So I have to declare I am a Cebu stan. Nothing has changed. Moving on to number 11 on the list, we have Leyte with Angel Rose Tambal. Honestly, Leyte was one of those girls that, again, was not really on my radar up until now because there's just so many. There's, you know, over 55 girls. Initially, we had rumors that there were going to be like 60 plus girls at Miss Universe Philippines. And the moment that she went on stage, I couldn't take my eyes off her. First of all, I really love the fashion choice here. It's what we call the coquette fashion, you know, very kind of like a little bit of retro, but still playful, youthful. And I think that it really accentuated her beauty because she got to showcase those legs, really brought attention to the face, to the healthy hair, the impeccable makeup and styling. And it just made everything, you know, just enjoyable to watch. As I said, this look is quite playful, and I think that she also added that to her presentation, the way that she carried herself on stage. So for me, she was one of those girls that went from being really under the radar to now being someone that I think could potentially be, you know, top 20, top 10, and why not even further, right? So let me know, what is your first impression of Miss Leyte when you saw her walking on stage? Now we're officially getting into the top 10 on the list. If you are enjoying the video so far, go ahead and drop a like, comment, share, subscribe, follow, do all the things that help, because now this is where the conversation gets spicy. At number 10 on the list, we have Miss Kananga. Her name is Natasha Jung. And oh my god, have I been living under a rock? Because this girl is just so beautiful. In person, I'm going to say definitely one of the standouts in terms of the beauty. The facial beauty, physical beauty, that skin was just perfect, immaculate. And I also really loved the look that she was sporting on stage, which by the way is by my friend Gian La Sala. He did an incredible job. And similar to the previous candidate that I was talking about, I think that this look is very playful. It's very feminine. It's a little bit camp. So it was just very fun to watch. And for her to bring all of this beautiful energy on stage, she carried herself so well. She seemed so polished the way that she was posing, smiling at the camera. I mean, it just gave me that classic vibe of like Filipino beauty queen, but at the same time bringing it to a more playful and modern ground, right? So she was for me one of the clear standouts of the night. So let me know in the comment section if you agree with me as well. Now let's move on to number 9, Miss Kainta Stacey Gabriel, one of my sentimental favorites, as I said, and I still stand by it. I am a Stacey stan. I'm actually super happy with this presentation from Stacey because there's a few things that I want to highlight. First, she gave us something completely different to her sashing ceremony, which officially was the first introduction that she had to the pageant scene this time around. Back at that point, I read some comments of some people criticizing the hairstyling or the choice of what she was wearing. You know, she had like curly hair with the wet effect, the wet look. At the same time, she was wearing all black. This time around, she went a completely different round. Very neutral color, so with a beige covering everything, straight hair, and fairly minimalistic makeup. And still, she stands out. Oh my god. Some people like to say Stacey's too short, Stacey's too that. Look, Stacey, with whatever height she has, is able to stand next to all of these girls and still look amazing. The face card, honey, it just never declines. And I'm just happy to see that Stacey's standing her ground, that she's fighting for this. Because honestly, this press presentation was no joke. It was really hard to stand out. And for her to be this high on my list already, I think that it's a huge accomplishment. I am beyond excited to see what she's gonna bring to the table, what she's gonna, do during the pageant, and how she's going to surprise us, because I think that she's one of those girls that I really want to see go very far in the competition. At number 8 on the list, let's talk about Miss Northern California, Kyla Jean Carter. And last time that I released my video about my early favorites, I got so many comments from people talking about Kyla. Listen, I saw her in person already. I see where you guys are coming from. I am with you. I am on board. I live for the fantasy. This girl is absolutely stunning. I thought that her look for the night was just a home run because it's so classic. It's very regal, it's very elegant, but at the same time has a little bit of a sexy edge, which I enjoy. I thought that this was a look that we could see on a runway, on a red carpet, a fashion show. So it's just so versatile. At the same time, I've had the opportunity to watch some interviews from Kyla as well. I had the opportunity to see her interacting with people during the press presentation as well. She comes across as very nice, kind, all of those things. So if you have the look, if you have the background, and you have the attitude, I think that, ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing a front runner. Now let's talk about my 7th pick, which goes to Miss Zambales, Anita Rose Gomez. And I was so thrilled to see Anita in person because, as I told you on my last video, she's one of those girls who has been around the pageant scene here in the Philippines, joining different local and national pageants in the country, and it was about time for her to make an appearance finally at Miss Universe Philippines. She did not disappoint. This woman, the moment that she comes out, you cannot take your eyes off her. I promise you, if you ever see her in person, you cannot. There's a few things that I love. Let's start with the attitude. Anita seems genuinely nice. Such a kind person. She's approachable. She was interacting with everyone. She was talking to local media, online media, traditional media, the fans. And one thing that I really observed since the moment that I got there is that she stays in character. She's always holding her pose, she's always smiling, she's always looking at the audience. So there's a consistency that I really like, which is expected because, when she has joined several pageants already, this is a seasoned queen. Granted, she has not competed internationally yet, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't have the experience that can help her go far in this competition. I also really love the fact that, so many people praise her for her waistline and whatnot. And one thing I said on my previous video was that I didn't want her to just rely on the physique, and she didn't. This dress is very flattering because it showcases her silhouette and whatnot, but it's not the center of attention. So you know what? She gave me exactly what I wanted from her. From now on, if she wants to flaunt the silhouette, if she wants to just rely on it, girl, you go for it. You got it. You flaunted. I just wanted to see a little bit versatility, and that's what you gave me. So my heart is so happy right now. What do you think about Miss Zambales? Is she the moment or not? Moving on to number 6 on the list, I'm so excited to talk about Miss Bacoor City, Victoria Velasquez Vincent making a comeback to Miss Universe Philippines, and I'm so happy. I'm so proud. This is my girl, okay? Victoria and I go way back to 2021 when she first competed at Miss Universe Philippines. She was one of my favorites alongside Katrina Di Maranan, and I mean, just to see her come back, it's just such a joy for me to witness as a pageant fan and a friend. A few things that I want to point out right here. Victoria seems to be in really good spirits. I mean, look at the smile, look at the body language, look at the outfit. It's colorful, it's vibrant, it's fun. She seems to be enjoying the moment, and that's exactly what I want her to do. Because when people criticize Victoria, they say, oh, she looks older with the makeup. Oh, the wardrobe is a little, she looks exquisite in person. So whenever people are bashing her and telling whatever, girl, I don't know what you're talking about, because I saw my girl in person and my girl was shining. She was beautiful. She was vibrant. And I think this is a great way to get started with the pageant season, to start Miss Universe Philippines on a really high note. Now, Victoria, let's just work on keeping the momentum because, girl, this is a very, very solid start. Okay? Okay. Now let's get into the top 5, but before we do so, I want to know who is your personal top 5, so go ahead and let me know in the comment section. When it comes to mine, on the 5th position, I have Miss Quezon City, Lorraine Ojimba. And let me tell you, this is the highest ranking new girl of the batch that is not necessarily like a known queen or a veteran or a comeback or whatsoever. She's the one that is highest placed on my list. I think that she has so much potential, and when you see her in person, this girl just screams Miss Universe. We were talking earlier about diversity and all of those things, and I think that Lorraine represents exactly that. She embodies it, but on top of that, she also brings such class, such presence. The moment that she went on stage, I could tell this is a girl who is really polished, who has really trained, who knows her things. The way that she carries herself, I did not get to hear her talk, unfortunately, but based on previous videos that I have been watching of her, I know that she's an eloquent speaker, a strong communicator. So for me, already knowing those things and seeing her in person, the way that she, was presenting herself to a room full of cameras and media and, directors and sponsors, she was so in control. I thought that was beautiful to watch, and I am pretty sure that she will go really far in the competition. So on my end, I will be most definitely rooting for Quezon City. Moving on to number 4 on the list, we have Miss Iloilo Alexi Brooks, of course, one of the fan favorites, and the expectation was really high for Alexi because, of course, having so much support, so much love, everyone wanted her to excel during this particular day, and she did. Look at the outfit that Alexi is wearing. I love that it's so revealing, so sexy, but still feels like they put so much attention to the craft, to the creativity, to the fashion aspects of it, and she looks incredible. I also really like the fact that it's very consistent with her brand, comparing this to her previous look at her coronation night where she has this warrior look. I think that she's still giving those vibes, but on a more delicate and softer side. Let's call it that way. Before, she looked like she was ready to go to war. Now, she looks like she's ready to kill them with kindness. In person, I'm going to say Alexi looks absolutely stunning. I think that her hair looked beautiful. She had a fade that really gave her like a strong presence. And as we talked before, a lot of people like to comment on the duality that she has on the more, masculine versus feminine side. I'm going to say Alexi on stage looks very feminine. She carries herself that way. And at no point I felt like there was anything distracting or off with her look. I thought she was clearly one of the standouts of the night. What about you? Let me know in the comments. How do you feel about Alexi Brooks? Now it's time to move on to number 3 on the list. Of course, we have the beautiful Miss Baguio, Tara Marie Valencia. And, okay, everyone has something special at this point, okay? If you are in my top 5, you have clearly managed to stand out in so many different ways. But for me, Tara actually stood out for all of the right reasons. Let's start by talking about the face. This girl is just incredibly beautiful. I see like a combination of, I don't know, I see a little bit of Catriona, again, Catriona. I see a little bit of Nadia Ferreira. I mean, there's just something about her that screams universal beauty. Another thing that I really want to give her props for is arguably she has one of the simplest looks of the night, yet she managed to overshadow so many of the fan favorites and comeback queens and standouts that everyone had already on their lists. As I said on my previous video, she is fairly young, so I just want to absolutely give her props because this was such a good first impression. I want to commend the team behind this woman because I know that they cannot do it alone, and you guys are working overtime for this particular look. I mean, from the simplicity of it, but the efficiency of it, I am just in awe. And this just makes me so excited because I know that the Miss Universe Philippines season this year is going to be so strong, so exciting. It's going to be a bloodbath. And that's exactly what us pageant fans want. What do you think about this particular look? And do you think that sometimes going with less is more? For me, this is the living proof that sometimes that is indeed the case. Let's go, Baguio! Let's finally reveal my second pick, which goes to Quezon Province, Atisa Manalo, looking absolutely breathtaking in this very out-of-the-box look, which we have to digest. First of all, I thought that Atisa's look was giving a little bit of like, I don't know, like beach vibes, beach attire. Like she had this very long skirt with a top that kind of reminded me a little bit of a bikini, but more on a fashion elevated way. The point is, she looked incredible and different from everyone else, which I think really gave her an advantage in terms of standing out. She went for a top that was completely dark, but something very, very colorful at the bottom, which again really captured everyone's eyes and attention. She was being surrounded by fans, media, bloggers. Everyone wanted a piece of Atisa, and I know by experience that that's exactly what a Miss Universe should be able to do. At least a Miss Universe Philippines should be able to capture the attention of the crowd, to want them to gravitate towards her, to talk to her. She was excellent when it comes to that. Her performance on stage was enjoyable. I think that, of course, she has completely changed her walk and everything from the Miss International days. So I think that so far, Atisa is really checking all the boxes for me. She is really strong. And I think that the strategy is really unfolding perfectly. I don't have much to criticize. I think that she just has to keep the momentum going. Last but not least, or should I say, number one on my list goes to Miss Taguig, Christy McGarry, which honestly, I just couldn't take my eyes off her. She was so beautiful. Like when I tell you beautiful, it's not just, oh my God, that girl is cute. No, that girl is stunning. The girl just stole my attention and made me want to look at her and listen to her and just follow her every move. Christy was very smart during this particular presentation. First of all, I think that she had arguably the same level of attention as Atisa in terms of the fans and the bloggers and the media gravitating towards her. So she was also excellent when it comes to that. I really liked her look because there's two different layers to it. First of all, we have like the playful, sexy, mini dress situation that shows a lot of skin, toned legs, really tall. And then on the upper part, we have this more of a suit situation going on that reminds me a little bit of being a boss, of being, more of a leader. That's something that Miss Universe Philippines looks for, that Miss Universe organization also looks for it. And I also like the sleeves. It reminded me a little bit of a cape, which, it's kind of like a superhero moment. So fashion-wise, I am extremely happy. I'm also going to say that Christy looked incredible in person. Like the skin is so smooth, the morena vibes are giving, the facial features are just incredible. And one of the things that people were commenting is that Christy is one of those comeback queen girls. She has a lot of experience. She has been competing since like 2008, and she can go head to head against the youngest of these delegates. That just speaks volumes. So when she's able to bring the beauty, the presence, the calm skills, and at the same time she is able to outperform some of these younger girls, I don't see a single reason why Christy McGarry might not be crowned Miss Universe Philippines. So for me personally, when it comes to the entire press presentation, she was my number one pick. So now it's your turn to let me know. So go ahead, down in the comment section. Let me know what do you think about my comments, my picks, the girls that I highlighted. If there's someone else that you would like to, put on the spotlight, go ahead and do so in the comments so we can all read. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, follow, subscribe, and all of those things. And I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching.